Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to session 4 of the XiaoHongShu Marketing Bootcamp. I'm so excited to teach you today how to post on XiaoHongShu. So we're going to work through together making a post live during today's session to help you implement some of the strategies we've been learning throughout this bootcamp, and also just see in action how things actually work when posting on XiaoHongShu. So I'm going to get started properly in just under 5 minutes. So I've set the countdown going just so there's time for the email reminders to come through to everyone who's joining us live. If you're watching the replay, just skip ahead 5 minutes until we actually get started with the main content. So yeah, thank you everyone who's joining us already. I know I've turned on the live stream a little earlier than normal, so there's probably still a few people waiting to join us. But if you've already tuned in, feel free to just introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from today and what you're looking forward to learning. So just pop a quick note in the comments. Let me know as well, all the tech's working, you can hear me okay, all of that. It's always good to know that everything's been working properly. So feel free to introduce yourself in the comments while we wait for everyone to join us. It's also a great time to quickly go grab a cup of tea or something if you want to just get settled before we start. So yeah, lots of really exciting things to learn today. Awesome, I see a familiar face here. Hi Nikki, thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. Great to see you again, awesome. I know this is now session 4 of our bootcamp, so it's great to see people persevering all the way through, so well done. Awesome. I can see there's more people tuning in, but haven't necessarily commented yet, but that's fine. Great to see everyone here. I think as well our emails went out a little later today, so just getting everything set up. So yeah, how's everyone's day been as well? It's always nice to have a bit of a chat, see how everything's been going. I have had a very long day, so it's quite late here in Japan. It's 10 p.m. Here in Japan, where I'm currently teaching. So I had a long day teaching in school, and then very excited to be sharing all of this great content with you this evening before collapsing into bed because it's getting late already. Okay, fantastic. I see a few more people joining us. Hi there, Ellen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love everything you do. The curriculum is wonderful. That's so wonderful. Thank you for that great feedback. That's great. I hope you're enjoying the bootcamp and you're finding these sessions helpful with your marketing and everything as well. One of the reasons I started doing these bootcamps and like the coaching sessions and the free webinars and all that was because lots of our curriculum members were struggling to find students. So every time, like if someone unsubscribed, they get sent an email being like, oh, such a shame to see you go. Why did you unsubscribe from the curriculum? And the number one reason people pick is didn't have enough students are giving up, which was such a shame. So I'm really glad to hear that we got some curriculum members like you, Ellen, joining us today, and I hope you find these sessions helpful for growing your teaching business. So fantastic. I see a few more people tuning in. Good to see you here. Emma, fantastic. And Kristen as well, another familiar face. Awesome. And Nigel again. Hi there, Nigel. Sun's still shining. This is unbelievable. We're having a chat about this just the other day. It's crazy. I'm not in the UK right now and the sun is shining and it's beautiful weather. I guarantee to you, when I go back to the UK this summer, it will be miserable again. But I hope you're enjoying the rare sunshine in the UK there, Nigel. Awesome. Emma saying, having a little break after today. I'm exhausted. I get you. Don't worry. I'm exhausted too. We're all exhausted. Lots of great content in this bootcamp, but also very exhausting putting it all into practice. Nikki's saying, so busy, running around with family and stuff. TEFL teacher online and English teacher at a college of further education in the UK. Gosh, you're busy. That's fantastic. Hopefully you find these bootcamp sessions a little bit of time to learn some new stuff, but also sit back a little and relax for an hour. I say relax, please pay attention, but enjoy the bootcamp as well. Melody's tuning in again. Nice to see you again, Melody, from Wisconsin. Hope this session will teach you to add the Chinese subtitles to my videos. Okay, there is a section in the course because it's actually a bit complicated to do on the computer's end. Also, it's very slow to process the subtitles. I'm not going to show you live today, but don't worry. There's a section in the course. The link is underneath the video. It's free, the free bootcamp. I added in a section from the paid course. Actually, it's one of the lessons from the paid course that shows you how to add Chinese subtitles to your videos like automatically. So check that out after today's session, and that works you through things a lot more efficiently than I could in the live. But yeah, it's possible to do. Don't worry. Awesome. A few more familiar faces. Hi there, Twin. Great to see you again. Angie. and Nassis. I recognize ESL, simply speaking. You're going to have to remind me of your name again. Sorry, I've forgotten. Susan, I want to say. Let me know if I've got that correct. And Howie as well joining us. Fantastic. Great to see you all here today. Okay, so that is our countdown timer up. So let's get started relatively promptly. I'm trying to get better at this time management thing. So welcome to session 4 of the XiaoHongShu Marketing Bootcamp. Our topic today is how to post. And we're going to work through together making a post. I'm going to be doing it on the XiaoHongShu computer app because then I can easily screen share and show you everything. If you've got the computer version as well, if you've got access to it, it's within the web browser. You can also do it live with me at the same time, make a post yourself, or you can do it on your phone app as well. So feel free to join in and try things out as we go. That's the plan for today. Okay, so quick introduction. There was a couple of new faces today, so quick intro to me, to anyone who hasn't heard of me before. My name is Katie. I'm the director of Abridge Academy, so most people know me from the Abridge Academy curriculum or various Facebook groups. I've been an online teacher since 2013, and I'm also a qualified classroom teacher from the UK. I lived, studied, and taught in China before, and I also have a micro MBA from Shanghai Jiao Tong University. And a couple of years back, I co-founded a Chinese online ESL startup, like online teaching program that was in 2020. So all of those experiences in China and working with the Chinese market has given me some really great insights, particularly into how to use social media to promote online education programs and grow your business. So we're sharing lots of useful insights, hopefully today. And right now, I'm currently a classroom ESL teacher here in Japan. And I also teach online. I sell curriculum, I sell courses, I do coaching, I do free boot camps like this all the time. So lots of things keeping me busy. So yeah, that's a quick intro to me. I'm not sure why my video is slightly grayed out. I'm hoping it's coming through fine. Something went weird on the computer there. Never mind. Okay, so great to see everyone who's joining us today. Moving on to the next slide. So this is session 4 of the free XiaoHongShu Marketing Bootcamp. There are 5 sessions in total. So if you missed any of the earlier sessions, don't worry, you can access the replays for free. The link to register to get access to everything is in the description under the video. Check those out after today's live stream if you're joining us live, because it's always best to tune in live to stuff when you can. Today is session 4, which is how to post. And then tomorrow we have Master the Algorithm, where you're going to learn how to really optimize your post to reach a broader audience. So yeah, that's the plan for this bootcamp. And I hope you guys have been enjoying things so far, because I know it's been quite intense and lots of new content, but I hope you've been enjoying it and finding it useful. See a few more comments joining, a few more people tuning in. Hi there, Saida. Great to see you again from Texas. Yes, I was right. It was Susan. Excellent. Nice to see you again, Susan. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, got a question here from in person, Katie. So I have a full-time classroom teaching job here in Japan. So that's 8:30 to 4:15 every day. And then on top of that, working on Abridge Academy and online teaching and live streams like this, which take up most of my evenings and weekends. So I'm very busy. I'm not sure I could add up all the hours, or I want to add up the number of hours I work. But hey, that's how things go when you are kind of launching your business and growing things as a teacher entrepreneur. So yes. Okay, Nigel's commenting saying, I'm a wannabe teacher from England, hoping to change career. Are you in the right place? That's great. Paddling in the independent teaching pool and trying to learn the craft, baby steps. Awesome. Well, it's great to have you join us again, Nigel. I know you've been tuning into the earlier bootcamp sessions too. So I hope you're finding this helpful for kind of learning the marketing skills and stuff you need as an independent teacher. Great. Okay, so there is a lot to get through today, so I'm going to move very swiftly on from that quick introduction. Just a final reminder, I know I say this every time, but a final reminder, if you haven't already, if you've stumbled across this video somehow, make sure you register at the link below to get access to all of the stuff in the bootcamp. It's free. There's 5 bootcamp sessions with the replays if you've missed the lives, and email reminders for the lives if you're joining us this week. Free implementation workbook. We've had some amazing results to that workbook people have been sharing in the Facebook group. It's great to see you actually putting stuff into practice. You get a free social media platforms guide, free certificate of completion, and if you're joining us live this week, you have the opportunity to win amazing prizes like free one-on-one coaching sessions and free courses. So make sure you register. The link is in the description below. I say it every time, but just a quick reminder to sign up. Very quickly moving on to today's topic, how to post on XiaoHongShu. which is the big question I get asked all the time. How to post. Last time we looked at what to post, which is the other big question. Now it's how to post and really like optimize and make great posts. Okay, it's people in the comments are just saying, wow, you do so much. All of this takes a lot of time. Oh my gosh, make sure you get rest. I do rest, don't worry. That's my plan for after today's session. Go to bed and get some sleep. Yes, I do sleep, don't worry, Kristen. Luckily, I live relatively close to the school that I work at, so I don't have to wake up at the absolute crack of dawn. But yeah. Okay, Julian's asking, can you attach a link for the replays? The link's in the description underneath this video, hopefully, on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description underneath, where you can register for the bootcamp, like on the website, and within the online course platform that you sort of sign up with. It's a free thing, but it just has to take you through a registration process. Once you've registered, you then get access to this online course platform, and then you can see the replays in there. So yeah, you can access those there. If you're struggling to find them, just drop me a message either on Facebook or via email, and I can send you direct links to various things. Okay, so you're just saying, what we got in my bio last night, posting it right now. Fantastic. That was our session 2 topic, wasn't it? Working on your profile bio. Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. A few more comments. I don't know why I'm looking after myself. How do you fit it all in? I don't know. Great question. Thank you. Right. Okay. So today's topic is how to post on XiaoHongShu. Lots to get through, so I'm gonna continue on. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot is, can I use XiaoHongShu on my computer? Or can I use XiaoHongShu on my phone? People obviously prefer using different devices. But yes, you can post from both your phone or the computer, or if you've got an iPad, you should be able to use the iPad and things too. So all major devices you can post to XiaoHongShu from. However, be aware that if you're using the computer, it's not an app on the computer, it's just within your web browser, it's just a normal website. And you have to log in via your phone app. So you still need the app on your phone in order to access the website version, if that makes sense. The link to access on your computer is creator.xiaohongshu.com. I'm just going to quickly paste that in the chat. Creator.xiaohongshu.com. So if you want to use the computer version, just go to creator.xiaohongshu.com. For some bizarre reason, there's no easy link from their main homepage to get to that. So just bookmark it. So creator.xiaohongshu.com. And obviously you've got the phone app. If you search within the Google Play Store or the App Store, you can download the app on your phone if you haven't already. I'm not sure how you've made it 4 days into the bootcamp without downloading it, but anyway, make sure you've got that all set up. Okay. As I said, today I'm going to show you how to do it on the computer, just because I'm like doing the live stream from my computer, so it's a bit easier to do. Yes. This, by the way, I'm going to very quickly show you this. If you've got the workbook, which you get for free as part of the free bootcamp when you registered at the link underneath, in the workbook, there's something that looks a bit like this, which is about how to structure a post. So I've just put it very quickly on the screen as well, in case anyone doesn't have the workbook in front of them. Feel free to take a shot as we go through the working on a post together in the live, because there's a lot of stuff I like to put in my post and make them really well structured. Okay, so I'm just asking, can the profile be edited using the computer? I don't believe so. I've never been able to find out how to edit your profile. There's no edit profile option, unfortunately. So you have to do that on the phone. Basically, XiaoHongShu, like most Chinese apps, they're kind of very mobile-first approach to technology. So everything's developed first for mobile. And then they're like, oh, there's a few weird people who have computers. Let's make a computer version too. So they're like, all of the features are on the mobile app. But the computer version, or in this case, it's just a website, it's not even a downloadable software or anything. The computer version is normally a bit more cut back and doesn't have all the features. So I don't believe you can edit your profile, or at least I've never been able to. But what you can do is post posts, and you can also see things like detailed analytics, and there's the creator center and stuff within the website version. But no, you can't edit the profile, unfortunately. Okay, that's just saying thanks for the link. I'm glad that was helpful. Great. Yeah, Twins commenting saying here, settings may be the reason for the rest. The feature's not available in your region. A few people had a couple of issues, I think, registering on XiaoHongShu, maybe connecting their phone number. And also the website version apparently is not available in every region, which surprised me. But anyway, it might be not quite available, or not yet available. Sorry, not quite available. Is or isn't not yet available in your region, in which case, sorry, not much I can do about it. The app should be available though. So keep persevering in terms of registering with the phone number thing. Sometimes it's a bit slow for codes to come through. Great. So what I want to do, I'm just going to quickly stop sharing briefly and then jump across to our, oh, why is my face floating? That's weird. Let's share the creator.xiaohongshu.com tab. Where's it gone? Here we go. Share. Okay, can we see that? Oh, it's resharing. Hang on. Just a moment. Ooh, that is the most bizarre floating. I don't know what. Hang on. Let me just sort out what's going on the live stream here. Something strange is going on with our screen sharing. That is bizarre. Okay, let's go back to the normal view and make my face a bit bigger. Okay, so when you first go to creator.xiaohongshu.com, you end up on this website. Sorry, my internet's a bit slow at the moment, so I apologize if the video feed is not very smooth. So you end up on this website. As you can see, it's all in Chinese. It's a bit inconvenient, but we're going to get to that in a moment. Don't worry. So on this website, you need to log in. To log in, you'll see on the right-hand side here, there is a thing where you can put your phone number in. It sends you a text, and then you put the verification code to log in. That I find a bit of pain. It's a bit slow. So what you can do instead is click on the little QR code thing instead. Then please don't scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, because that's for me to log in. Then you're going to go to your phone, open up XiaoHongShu on your phone app, like the phone app on XiaoHongShu. Go to your profile. I'm going to make myself bigger so you can see this. Right. So you're going to open up XiaoHongShu. You're going to go to Me to see your profile. Then in the top, should be the top left corner, you'll see we call this a hamburger menu. It looks like 3 little lines in the top left corner. You're going to click on that. Oh, not that. Click on that, and it opens up this sort of side menu, which is not shown very clearly. There, it opens up the side menu. Right near the bottom of that, there's one that says Scan. You're going to click on Scan, and you'll use that scan to scan the QR code that is on the screen on your computer. So let's go back to our screen share. So we have this. I'm going to literally scan with my phone the QR code, which is now regenerating because I was too slow. Let's try again. Scan it, then your phone will ask you to confirm. You click the big red button, which means like confirm, log in, and it will log you straight in like this. And my computer internet is very slow at the moment because we're live streaming and all kinds of stuff is going on. But anyway, you get to this homepage on the computer app, and this is what we're looking at right now. My position thing, so it's a bit easier to see. Let's go back to our slightly larger screen size. Okay, so most of this is not super helpful. It's mostly like statistics and stuff like that. Like here on the screen, you can see my most recent posts and the statistics. Post was a bit rubbish, didn't get many views, but you can start to see some stats and stuff on the main home screen. However, as you might notice, on the left side, that menu is all in Chinese. Everything's still in Chinese, and it's a bit confusing. Now, if you're using Google Chrome like I am, and I feel like most other web browsers have something similar, in Chrome, there's a like auto translate tool. I'm not sure that's, no, it's not screen sharing the translation thing. So I just click on the Google Translate button, and it should then turn everything into English. Magic, yay. So this is how you can use XiaoHongShu in English on your computer. It's not perfect. The translation is a bit iffy sometimes, and like the text of overlaps a bit funny in some places, but it gives you at least an idea of what most of the buttons mean, and you can sort of vaguely navigate. So that's a lot easier to get things started. So yeah, and if it looks a bit strange, sometimes you can switch it back to Chinese just to make the layout look better if you're trying to find something. But yes, so what we're going to be interested in today is how to make a post. That's our main focus. So actually, any questions on this here? No, so far I've seen so good. If you're on your phone, by the way, you just click the big plus button, and that helps you make a post. There's a big plus at the bottom of the screen to make a post. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on where it says release notes. As I said, the translations are a bit iffy, but this means post something. So make a post. For some reason, Google Translate, at least on my computer, has translated to release notes, but we're going to go with that. So click on release notes. Wait for it to load. Lots of patience needed with my internet. Okay, and then you get to this page, which is how to make a post. And you'll see there's like 2 options at the top here, upload video and upload pictures and text. So if you want to upload a video, you literally just click the upload button and find the file, or you can drag and drop it onto the screen. And if you scroll down, there's some information on like the file size and stuff that's allowed. So it says here that the video size has got to be a maximum of 15 minutes long and a file size of up to 10 gigabytes. So you can see there immediately the size limits for the file. If you're doing it on your phone, the maximum time is, I believe, 5 minutes, and the file size has got to be 2 gigabytes or less. So it's much smaller file sizes on the phone. One of the main reasons I believe they launched this website version is because if you're doing stuff on the computer, you can upload larger file sizes. Apps like phone apps just aren't able to process these larger files. So this is one of the main reasons people use their computer app, is to upload large videos. Move my face a little bit out of the way, and you can also see some of the other requirements here. It tells you about the format, and they recommend that you use MP4 or MOV files, and it tells you about the video resolution. Make sure it's sort of relatively high resolution, but it doesn't have to be super high resolution. Yeah, that's the basic information there. So you can check the details that when you're uploading to make sure that the file you're uploading meets the requirements. Today, though, we're not going to upload a video because I don't trust my internet to try and cope with video uploads at the same time as live streaming. So instead, we're going to click on this upload pictures and text option because it's a bit quicker. So that's what we're going to do, upload pictures and text. And all you have to do is upload the images here. Again, there's the information underneath, but essentially, I've never had any issues with the image size. It supports basically every image format. And they recommend either having square images or like a 3:4 aspect ratio. But you can actually upload various sizes, and they just sort of move things around to make it fit well. So let's click upload image, and we're going to add an image. And in this case, I've made a series of posts that are like top study tips. So I'm just uploading, and you can see on the right side there, study tip number 6, which is about using the mark scheme. Now, exams are coming up. In fact, it's like right in the middle of the A-level exam period right now. Most of my target students are at international schools or looking to study abroad. The Gaokao exams are also coming up in just, I think, 2 weeks in China. So this is like a good time for me to be posting like last-minute exam study tips. So that's what I was going to go with here. So once you've uploaded your image, it then takes you to this page, and you can start to put in all the post content. Right, I'm just going to pop back across to the chat. There's anything going on here. I've been neglecting you guys. Yes, Nikki's saying, sadly, I'm not able to do it in the UK. I believe the computer version does not seem to be available in the UK. There was a bit of chat going on about this in the Facebook group earlier. I'm sorry, I can't solve that problem. I have no idea why it's not available in the UK, but you can instead do it from the phone. The interface is actually broadly similar, but it's just in Chinese. But the layout is similar. And you just click the big plus button on the phone, like home screen, when you open the XiaoHongShu, and it takes you to post something. It's relatively intuitive with a bit of practice. I think there's some information that as well in the online course platform. I believe there's a video on that. I should check. Okay, Daniel's just saying, greetings from Taipei, Taiwan. Great to see you again, Daniel. Thanks for tuning in. Hope that won't get marked down for attendance. Don't worry. Dentist last night, home late from work today. I'm glad you were able to make it today. That's fantastic. And don't worry, you can catch up on the replays later if you need to. Twins saying, I don't understand Chinese language. Yeah, this is one of the biggest issues with people using XiaoHongShu, one of the biggest challenges, because the posts that people tend to make are in Chinese, right? And we want to write stuff in Chinese as well to reach a Chinese-speaking audience. Don't worry, we're going to kind of discuss a bit more on that today. And there's information in the online course platform. The link is in the description. It's free, and there's a video that shows you how to get automated subtitles in Chinese and stuff on your posts if you want to do like videos with subtitles and things. It's not essential, by the way, when you're just starting out, but that's something if you want to kind of up your game a bit with the content. Emma's asking as well about editing your profile. No, I don't believe so. I think, who was it also earlier? Someone else said earlier as well. You can't edit your profile on the computer, unfortunately. If you see the top right, it's got a picture of my name and my profile name and stuff. If you click on that, the only option is to log out. There's no edit profile option under the profile information. So unfortunately not. Oh, Emma's saying, I'm from the UK and I can access the website. Now that's interesting. Some people can and some people can't. In which case, it might be a user level thing. Maybe it's something you unlock when you reach a certain user level on XiaoHongShu. Whereas if you've got a brand new account, maybe you don't have access to the advanced creator tools, like being able to upload large videos on the computer. I'm going to research that a bit more because I assumed it was just a geographical thing. This is something that just came to my attention literally this last day or two. So we will look into that a bit more. Thank you for the feedback. That's good to know. Nikki's saying, yesterday I couldn't use the phone number to log in or the QR code. Perseverance pays off this time. Okay, so I hope it's working now. I found the login by phone number a bit unreliable. I think whatever the service they're using to send the verification codes internationally is very slow and unreliable. So sometimes the codes just never come through. Whereas scanning the QR code normally works more reliably for me. Yeah, Nigel's saying the same. It's working in the UK, but it feels a bit basic compared to mobile. Absolutely. Julian's suggesting if you're having issues, try a different browser. That could be a good option. I'm using Chrome, so Google Chrome seems to work, at least here in Japan. I don't know about other countries, but I don't think it's a country thing then. Could be a web browser issue or just things being weird on their end with phone numbers and stuff. Okay, so hopefully some of you guys at least have been able to get onto the website version, or if not, you can do this on your phone. And I would recommend doing this together if you want to kind of do it live, or maybe if you don't have like things prepared for today, that's fine. You can watch the replay and work through it kind of together, pausing while you do things. So feel free to look at the replay if you want to go through it step by step again anytime in the future. So let's have a look at making our actual post then. Where can I put my face? That's not going to be. Let's put it in the left over here. We don't need any of that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to leave it in English so you can see what's going on. We'll keep it actually. I'll put it in the middle. There we go. I'll leave it in English so we can see what's happening. But essentially, there are several key parts. Let's jump back to the right tab. It doesn't fit very well on the screen because I've had to make my screen size a bit small to fit the live streaming stuff to the side. But normally it fits a full screen on the computer. So you can see here's the image, and if you want to, you can edit the image, you can replace the image with a different image. It says upload more, there's an upload more button. Oh, my face is coming up. There's an upload more button as well, just here. So if you want to make a carousel with multiple images in one post, you can click upload more to add more images. And then underneath, we've got the title and the description and hashtags and things like that you can add underneath. So it's a relatively straightforward layout, I feel. So let's have a look at this particular post. It was on study tips. If you've got the workbook, have a look in the workbook and I give you some advice on what kind of content to put in each section of the post in order to do well. I normally write my posts in Chinese. Today we're going to write it in English, and I'm just going to show you how you can just quickly put it in a translation tool and put that in. Because if I try and write it in Chinese, you go, no one's going to have a clue what we're going on about. So let's just stick with it in English for today. So we've got this post topic on study tips using the mark scheme. It's my advice today for people who are struggling, like preparing for their exams. I'm recommending to people, when you're preparing for exams, you've got to understand exam technique to get better grades. So look at the mark scheme or the marking rubric. If you're American, I think they call it a rubric for some reason. So look at how you're being assessed and also understand where the marks are assigned. That's the main content idea of this post. As an easy way to boost your marks, last minute before your exams. So the first section here is the title. And my advice for the title of your post is to either post a question, like make the kind of rhetorical question that draws them in, or you can write like a shocking statistic, like, wow, you could boost your grades by 50% using this technique. Or you can mention like some kind of time pressure. So maybe you're posting about a deadline for something. Like I've done posts before talking about scholarship applications for study abroad, and I'll say, look, deadline next week, and that will be the title, because that draws people in. They're like, oh, must click now and check it out. So the post title basically needs to draw them in. And if you look on the right-hand side here, we can see the preview. So here it shows you a preview of what your post actually looks like. The first one it shows is when you actually clicked on the post. At the bottom, you can also see the cover, so what it looks like in the main feed. So if you look at it in the main feed, you only get the image and the title. They don't get any of the other content. So the title is literally the only text that you can customize that's going to show up on the main feed when they first stumble across the post. So it has to be eye-catching. You can see it's kind of small print, but there's a maximum of 20 characters for the title. So let's think of some ideas for our title. And I'm thinking, I could either just go with the standard format of what's already on my post, study tip number 6, use the mark scheme. So I could just stick with that. Or I could do something like the #1 resource A-level students need to use to boost your grades. Or it could be like, I know everything. Why aren't I getting an A grade? something along those lines that kind of draws them in to think, okay, what's this easy technique for boosting my results? That's what I'm thinking here. Anyone got any suggestions or ideas of what you might do if you're posting about this? I know we've got a few other people who are in kind of university application prep or like exam prep kind of niches where this might link in. Feel free to suggest ideas. So a few comments here about saying that Chrome is working, by the way. So anyone watching the replay, it seems like Chrome is the best web browser for this. Well, Nigel's asking, is this a Canva graphic? Yes, I made this post on Canva. I love Canva. It's amazing. It took me literally like 10 seconds to make this post because I had a pre-made template. I stuck a picture of an exam paper on it and I wrote study tip number 6. And that was it. So it's amazing for making really beautifully formatted posts with zero effort. Well, not zero, but less effort than if you're trying to make things look beautiful yourself. I actually use this template for like multiple posts within this series. So I've got this series of study tip related posts and they're all using the same template. So it's nice and consistent with your brand, all of that kind of thing. So yes, Canva is amazing for this. Okay, let's go with our post title then. What did I drafted out? I need some notes here. I quite like the number 1 resource A-level students need to use. Let's go with that. The number 1 resource A-level students need to use for, oh, it's a bit too long, to get an A-star grade. At the moment, it's too long in English, but when we translate this into Chinese later, I know it will be shorter because Chinese words are normally just a couple of characters long, whereas English words are like 5 or more characters, often like the word number, that's 6 characters. I know in Chinese it happens to be 1 character, the word for number. So that will get shortened later. Okay, so we've got our title. We want something that's going to draw people in, like a rhetorical question or a shocking statistic, or like something that suggests a deadline. So it could catch their attention or want them to click to see more. Jill's just quickly asking, can you upload PNGs or PDFs? I don't believe you can upload PDFs, but you can upload PNG files because it's an image file. Any image file format should be supported. So JPEGs, PNGs, WebP. There was a whole list, I think, on the previous screen when I uploaded the picture. At the bottom of the page, it listed the file formats that are supported. Not PDFs though. But you can take a screenshot of the PDF. That will make it a JPEG or a PNG depending on your computer's settings. But that will make it an image file, and you'll be able to upload. Okay, so that was our first part then, your captivating title to catch their attention. The next thing to have a look at, and what I'd recommend doing is if you've got the workbook, actually let me just screen share the workbook for you guys as well, because I think it's quite useful to see. Share screen. Workbook, where'd my workbook go? I'll show a workbook how I read this out, because I think it's quite useful to have a look at. Oh gosh, my computer's having a stress. I know I am sharing many things at the same time. It's not liking it. Okay. I don't know why it does this, but we can have a very quick look. I'm going to put the workbook in the corner over here, just so you can see the different parts of a post. So you can see we've got our post title, and these are suggestions about how to come up with a good post title. Underneath that, I've then got some suggestions of how you can format the actual post content itself. So I say start with an opening hook. That means a really exciting first sentence that's going to draw them in to continue reading. So that could be, again, a rhetorical question. It could be a fun fact, an intriguing statistic, something like the most important thing to know is blah, blah, blah. So they want to read more. Then you're going to have your main description with lots and lots and lots of detail. We want to cram this with keywords. We're going to learn more about the algorithm tomorrow, but basically you want lots of relevant keywords, lots of detail, the reading as long as possible. And then we end with a call to action, what you want them to do next, having looked at your post. So I just want to show you that very quickly so you can see what I mean by what to put in the description. So all 3 parts, the opening hook, the main description, and the call to action, all of those together end up in the post description box on XiaoHongShu. Okay, let me just close that screen share. Let's go back to this bit. So that's all in your workbook, if you want to have a look at your workbook. Okay, Emma's just commenting here. Great idea for your post. Love this one, Emma. My title could be, do you struggle to motivate your child? As parents are your target audience. Absolutely. Remember that if you're posting content, you're particularly teaching young kids, the parents are your target audience. And motivation, that's a great topic to pick. I love that rhetorical question as well. Very good. Okay, so back to what we were working on. So we've got our title. Now we want our description. And as I said, we want lots of detail. Yeah. So let's start. We want a hook to begin with, and the hook is going to grab them in and make them want to continue reading the rest of the description. So I actually brainstormed a list of ideas here, and I'm going to just paste some on screen so you can have a look at some of the ideas I came up with in terms of sentences, perhaps, as an idea. So I guess it's a bit small. I'll read them out. So it could be the most important thing to, I can't read it myself. The most important thing for exam success is understanding how you are being assessed. Or you could say, knowing the content is not enough. That might fit in my title with something like, I know everything, why aren't I getting good grades? Or this simple technique could boost your grades by 20%. Or exams are just a game, and to win, you need to know the rules. So that's like something that kind of draws them in. They're like, oh, I want to read more to understand more about this. Well, Nikki's got another great idea here. I love this one. Beware of this common mistake. Yes. And then people are like, oh, am I making this mistake? So they want to read more to check they're not making the mistake and then find out what the solution is if they are. Great. Kristen's saying, is it a short vowel or a long vowel? How do you know? Really good. I love that one. Absolutely. And that works really well if you're teaching like phonics for young kids and their parents are sitting there looking at their kids' homework, which is something to do with long and short vowel sounds, and they don't have a clue what's going on about. So this post then will match the kind of content they'll be searching for. And then they're like, oh, wow, this teacher knows her stuff. Let's reach out and ask about classes. That's our ultimate goal. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so I've got a few ideas here. I think of this list, I quite like the exams are just a game one. I'm going to go with that, I think. Maybe this is just me being a bit dramatic. Why is it putting numbers in? I don't want this to be numbers. Not number one. This is just, it's formatting something strangely here. Oh, still doing it. Come on, computer. It's having a moment. I might just start type first bit. There we go. Exams are just a game, and to win, you need to know the rules. Okay, that's going to be my kind of hook that's then going to draw them in even further. So now they're really intrigued. Okay, what are the rules of the game? How do I get these? How do I win the game, right? How do I get the best scores that I need in my exam? And that's when we're going to jump into like my top tips. I'm going to give all the detail that they need to know. So you notice here when we're making this post, I don't put all the detail in the post like image. The post image is more of a nice bright cover image that's going to catch their attention. So maybe you've got like a short title. We're talking about 5 words max. Okay, not loads of stuff on the image. And there's a bright picture, or you might have like a graph or a chart or something to illustrate some key statistic that's going to jump out and catch their attention. But I haven't put loads of text on it. I've kept it really simple. And it's hard to see because it's a bit small. But at the bottom, I put a little comment that says like more information below and a little arrow kind of indicating they need to read more underneath the post. So that's all I've got on the image. It's very simple. Then our title is kind of catching their attention and making them think with a question or with a great statistic or something that's going to draw them in. Then you've got your hook, which is then going to make them really intrigued because they've clicked through, but they need to actually read the rest of it. It's going to make them really intrigued and want to learn more. So that's kind of our starting point. It's all about drawing them in and catching their attention at the beginning. Okay, so I just think that's a good hook. I'm not sure that's to me or that's one of the others, but anyway, thank you. Lots of great ideas that people have shared in the chat as well, so that's fantastic. Okay, so we've got our starting point. Now, if you're using the workbook right now, have a look at the workbook. You'll see the next section of the workbook is about the main post content. What is the actual main stuff you want to teach that relates to your post? So this is like a value post. In this case, I'm teaching them some valuable skill, right? So this is the point when we teach them that thing. Now, if you've got a video or something, you might have a load of content in your video that you're talking about. Put all of the stuff in your video in the description as well. And you might be thinking, oh, doesn't that mean, though, that people aren't going to watch the video? They could read it instead. Well, it doesn't really matter. The point is you've caught their attention and you've got them to come check out your post. And that prompts them to then check out your profile afterwards. And if you've got it in text, the algorithm can pick up on that text from the post description. So even if you've got loads of content in your post because it's a video, put that word by word in the description of the post as well. In this case, we just got a simple image though, and there's no big information on it. So let's draft out a few more ideas. So we've got exams are just a game, and to win, you need to know the rules. So now we're like, okay, how do I find the rules? So let's start with like here. To learn the rules, you need to read the guidebook. What do we call a guidebook? When you play like a board game, it comes with like instructions. The instruction manual, that's what we call it. Instruction manual. And for exams, this instruction manual is called the mark scheme. Now we're like, oh, I get what this links to now. They made that link between the game analogy and the mark scheme for your exam. So the same with the hook, and it sort of then pivots the discussion from that interesting hook that drew them in into the actual main meat, the main content of the post. Let's then go with my top tips, or like my strategy, maybe my strategy, my exam preparation strategy. Or it could be something like, actually, I always teach my students, because you're kind of implying that you're a teacher because you want to get that across. I always teach my students to train themselves against the mark scheme. There's actually a space there. Typos. Make sure there's no typos. This is the simple step-by-step process. I absolutely love step-by-step things, right? If you can bullet point stuff out, that's like lists of stuff or a step-by-step process. It breaks up the text a lot more than a big paragraph. You'll notice that every sentence I'm putting on a new line here as well breaks up the text a lot more. Later on, we can go in and add emojis and things like that to break it up even more. And then when I'm going to have my step-by-step process, it's going to be like bullet points information on what to post or what to do in this post. That way it's easy to follow. People like stuff that's easy to read. By the way, avoid any like complicated jargon and stuff in your posts. I know you do want to get lots of keywords in, but you want to make it easy to read. Most people on XiaoHongShu are just casually browsing on the app. They haven't got time to read complicated, wordy essays. Keep it simple. So, right, step one. What's step B? Completes past paper question. Under exam conditions. Because I'm going to make sure they're going to practice it. Then step two, they're going to mark it. Use the mark scheme. Mark scheme to check your answer. And this is something really important. They've got to be really strict on how they use the mark scheme. Be strict. Only give yourself the marks. Mark if you definitely like you definitely got it. How do I phrase that? Only give yourself your mark. Only give yourself the mark if you definitely met the criteria. Then step three, do the question again, trying to remember to include key points from the mark scheme. By the way, if you're struggling to come up with ideas for like what to write, you can just ask tools like ChatGPT to write it for you. Like, what's the step-by-step process to use a mark scheme to get better exam grades or something, and it will throw out some great ideas. Okay, so they're going to do a question again. They're going to mark their question again. Mark your question again, and keep trying until you get full marks. And then finally, add your perfect answer to your revision notes. So you get full marks in the exam. There we go. Okay, it's a bit kind of thrown together because we're doing this live, but here's some ideas as to how I might phrase this post, what I might write in this case. Not what I am writing live right now. Now, obviously, normally I'll take a little bit more time to draft this properly. I might rephrase a few bits, but whatever, we're just going with it for today. Don't worry if your posts aren't perfect. Doesn't matter. The main thing is that we're getting content out there. So that's probably going to be the main content of my post. We've got our step-by-step process. If you go back to the workbook, after our detailed description, my face is being covered again. Come on. There we go. Okay, so after this detailed description, you see underneath I've then got the last part of your post, like the post description, which is your call to action. You can add more in the description, by the way. Like if you want to write more, like you can write lots of detail. But I don't want to bore you guys today with too much rambling about the wonders of exam mark schemes. So the last bit then is the call to action. What do you want them to do next? And this could be a call for more engagement. So you could be asking them to like or to follow or to comment or to share. Or you could ask them to sort of do the next step in your conversion process. So that could be something like requesting your freebie or kind of something that's going to lead them into your messages. So either of those two. Now, if you've got a brand new account and you're just starting out, focus on engagement because people will still reach out to you if they're interested in classes. But if you kind of push things too much initially when you haven't got lots of engagement in the first place, you haven't yet got the sort of social proof and the trust and establish yourself enough as an expert for them to want to reach out for those things unless they definitely want them, if that makes sense. So I'd recommend if you're just starting out, ask them to like the post or ask them to follow. Follow is a good one because then they'll see more of your posts in the future and it kind of starts drawing them in your little marketing funnel that we talked about on Monday. So you could tell them to follow from one post like this. Or yesterday we talked about how if you put together a posting schedule, you could have posts on a similar topic throughout the week. Like you have a post on Monday and then the post on Wednesday links to the post on Monday, but with like applying it to a specific context or something. Like here, I'm talking about the importance of a mark scheme. Maybe a post later in the week could be a worked example of how I've actually, or like one of my students would actually use a mark scheme with, showing literal pictures of their answers to a long answer question in a science paper and annotating it with comments from the mark scheme and showing how they've improved their answer. So then your call to action could be follow me to see Wednesday's post when I'm going to show you how this works in practice. So that would be your call to action. Anyway, I'm rambling, but if you're new, focus on engagement, focus on getting people to follow you rather than the conversion bit just yet. I'll be talking a lot here. How's everyone going with your post ideas? I know that I'm talking a lot and it's hard to also write things at the same time, but I hope it's giving you a few ideas to what you could write out. I'm going to just close that workbook thing because it kind of blocks the screen really. Okay, so we've got the main meat of our content up. Everyone's got very quiet in the chat. Hopefully that's a sign that you guys are busy typing away or writing down some ideas on your workbook or something. Feel free to draft out some things as we go along. Yes, if you've got any questions, by the way, do feel free to ask. We're going to talk a lot more in tomorrow's session about when we talk about the algorithm, about how you can optimize some of the stuff you put in your post description to do particularly well in the algorithm. But for today, I just want to get across the idea of how you post and the rough structure of a post. Let's go to the last bit then, our call to action. Actually, I haven't told them where to find the mark scheme. Let's just very quick. Where do you find the mark scheme? It's on the exam board's website. Okay, right now my call to action then is going to be something that's going to lead them a bit further along to follow me or to convert into something. So I could say, follow me to see a worked exam answer later this week. Or it could just be more general. Follow me for more study tips from an A-star grade graduate. Or comment your A-level subject and exam board, and I'll send you the link for your past papers and mark schemes. Because maybe they're struggling to find it, particularly if English is their second language and they can't find the things on the internet because they're searching in the, it's hard to search for stuff. English isn't your first language, right? Or it could be something like comment with some keyword to get my free guide with the secrets on how I managed to achieve 6 A-star grades in my A-levels and get into a top UK university. Something along those lines, depending on what you think is going to catch their attention the most. What should we go with? I feel like I don't really want to put the effort into people messaging me with their exam boards and marks and subjects for me to find the mark scheme. That's going to get messy. So I'm not going to do that because I'm feeling a bit lazy today. But that could be something if you want to add a bit of extra value for them beyond the post. I quite like the idea of kind of comment for my free guide, but I haven't made the free guide. So I'm not going to ask them to do that because I don't have that. And this is a live post, so we're actually going to post. I think I'm going to pick a more general one. So I jotted these down on my notes app, so I'm just going to paste it in here. Why is it putting numbers? There we go. Okay. Follow for more study tips from an A-star grade Cambridge graduate. I'll just go with that. That's just more of a quick sort of thing, because this post is a little bit outside of what I normally have been posting in my schedule. So I don't want to say like on Wednesday I'm going to do a post on this, because I'm not going to. So I'm just going to put that probably as a quick call to action, getting people to follow, just getting some more engagement and bringing in new followers for my account. Comments here, as I find it's helpful. Thank you, Nikki and Emma. I think it's great. That's helpful. I'm glad this helps. I sometimes worry that I'm rambling too much. Like, if it's not your niche, this kind of topic doesn't always seem that helpful. But the same concepts apply, right, to any niche. But rather than tips on like exam tips, you might be posting like how to help your child. What was the one earlier about motivating your child to study or something. And then you'd have different tips rather than say step-by-step guide. So you're still figuring it out. That's cool. No worries. It'll get there. Hopefully this helps. And remember, you can always watch the replay and work through it again if you need to review. Nikki's writing furiously. Awesome. Well, this is a good question. Jillian is asking, can you include a link to the exam board's website? You can't include any links on XiaoHongShu. I should have said that earlier, actually. So firstly, it's against the terms and conditions to have any external links within the public post. So you can't put a QR code on your image or your video or whatever. Their AI will pick up on QR codes and just, it won't let you post it. It will like block your post. And also links, you can't post links. If you manage to get it in somehow, like it won't format as a link, so they won't be able to click on it anyway. And you can't copy and paste from XiaoHongShu posts. So like you can't put links in. However, if they privately message you, you can send a link in a private message. So the idea is, if I was to go for that call to action that was, comment below with your exam board and subject, and I'll send you the link for your mark schemes, that means that I was going to reach out to them via private message and send them the link via private message. And that's then an opportunity, because you're now directly messaging with them to be like, oh, by the way, I have classes on this. I know your exam is next week. Do you need some extra help? Or invite them to join your free study group on WeChat or whatever your next thing is in your process. But yeah, sorry, short answer to your question, no, you can't post links. Melody's saying, I'm hoping to revamp some posts I already did. Instead of something new, I'd repost a demo I did on the phoneme and add the hook for them to follow to see on Wednesday or Friday. That's great. You can repost content, reuse your content. That's totally fine. You can actually edit recent posts, not older posts, but if it's been posted, I think within 90 days, it will tell you on the post if it's still editable. You can actually edit the post itself if you already made it. However, realistically, it's not going to get much new engagement because it's an old post anyway. So I would recommend doing what you're suggesting here, which is to repost it. Post the same, oh, excuse me, weird hiccups. Post the same video or the same image post, maybe spruce things up a bit if you want, add a little bit of different editing or whatever, and use the structure we've talked about today to format much more detail in the description and a nice title and things like that. Definitely. Nigel's asking about hashtags. We're just about to get onto hashtags, actually. So yes, you can use hashtags. Let's jump into that. Actually, before we jump into the hashtags, we need to put this in Chinese. Let's just quickly pop this into Chinese. I'm going to use DeepL, which I've got open in another tab, which I'm just going to post it into DeepL and translate it across. I won't show you this bit because my computer is struggling with about 3 different tabs like being open for screen sharing at the moment. Okay, so firstly, it's translated the title. This is A level. Always double check your translations. It's A level is A grade, which is not what I want. I mean, A level is in the exam type. A level students to achieve an A-star grade, the needed #1 resource. There we go. That makes sense. If you don't speak Chinese, don't worry. You can copy and paste the title back into DeepL or another translation tool and check that it translates the correct thing again in English. So always double check your translations if you don't speak Chinese and you're worried about that. Okay, got a quick question here from Saida. Do you allow the app to have access to your pictures? Yes, you need to do that in order to upload pictures. That's just a requirement of the app. Like any app on your phone will ask permission to access the images folder in order to be able to take the image to put on XiaoHongShu. Don't worry, it's not going to scan all of your images. It just means that you can upload an image. You have to give it permission to access the images. Harry's saying, I already had an account, but I found I could only log into the computer platform with the mobile app closed. Oh, that's interesting. You need the app open to scan. You need to scan using the QR scanning tool within your app. As long as you'll be able to log in, that's great. You've got a way, so that's awesome. But if you have any issues, just message in the Facebook group, and I can show you a screen shared video, just quickly showing how to log in or whatever. Okay, so we just translated our title. Let's also very quickly pop our post content into DeepL. And by the way, I'm also going to turn off the translation of the whole page. I found previously, you see that I had the English translation on, so previously all of the content around was in English, right? It automatically translated the stuff on the left side, like all of those links, the menu on the left, into English. If you keep that turned on when you go to post, it will also translate that text that you beautifully translated into Chinese. It will put it back into English again using a messy Google Translate and then post it in English. So make sure you've turned off the translation of the automated translation of the whole page if you're using Chrome, the Google Translate thing, before you click post. I'm not sure that makes sense. If that makes sense, let me know. So I'm just going to copy paste the actual text that we want into DeepL and paste it back. To be honest, I normally just write my post from Chinese in the first place rather than trying to copy paste things back and forth. But because we're doing this live together, we're just going to do it this way. Okay, I did about 1 million bullet points. So we're going to change that. Yeah. Tests are a game. Like, want to win, you must understand the rules. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I wrote. If you want to study the rules, you must read the instruction booklet. So for exams, this instruction booklet is called yeah, that makes sense. It's called the mark scheme, and I'm going to put mark scheme back in English because I'm targeting students who are studying international exams. So they want to know what they're meant to search for in English to find the mark scheme, right? Great. I need to work on my Chinese, a few characters I don't recognize. Okay, this makes sense. This is my simple step-by-step process. Yeah. It's put the numbers in twice. No idea why it's done that. Let's just fix the formatting a bit. I'm not going to bother reading all this. My brain is hurting. It's too late in the evening for reading in Chinese. Please follow. I put in originally. Follow me. Oh, not follow me, really. Just copy paste this one across. Sometimes it faces things a little bit funny, so I repaste, do it. Don't worry if it's coming out a little bit odd. People understand weird grammatical errors that foreigners might make when posting, so it's fine. Like, they understand that most people are using a translation tool. Okay, so we made our post in Chinese. I'm also going to add 1 or 2 emojis. Then we're going to get onto the hashtags bit that Nigel was asking about. So let's just add a couple of emojis, maybe like a die. Like guns being a game. And I want like a rocket. I love the rocket emoji, it's my favorite. This is my step-by-step method. Something like that. And at the end, I'm going to have a little fire emoji or something for like the call to action to follow me for more tips. Okay, so stuck a few emojis in to break things up. I normally play around this a bit more, but I'm feeling lazy today, and also the live stream is nearly an hour long now already, so I know you guys have got stuff to do. So we've made the main content here. The next thing to look at are the hashtags. And you'll notice underneath, I'm not sure if you see this clearly. Yeah, so at the bottom, like here. So underneath the main, we've got the post content. Directly underneath it, there's hashtags. And you can, so the hashtags, you can at like a specific person, you can tag a person. And then you can, this is like a expression, I think it translates as into English. Yaoqing means like your feeling or your emotion. You know, sometimes when you post on Facebook, you can click like, I feel excited, and then you put your post. And it then post it as Katie is feeling excited, and then your post content. It's sort of similar on XiaoHongShu. I don't really bother with it. I find it a bit weird. So let's look at the hashtags. This is the bit that people often find a bit scary. So if you click on the hashtag button, it just puts in a hashtag. You can also just type hashtag using your keyboard, but that's just there for the convenience, I guess. Then normally it automatically recommends some hashtags. Why is it not doing that? No idea. But let's just start typing a keyword instead. And you can just copy and paste keywords in from your translation app if you want to. So let's type international student. And it pops up there with a whole bunch of hashtags related to like international students. And I know you're thinking right now, hang on, Katie, I don't speak Chinese. Where do this come from? So let's just translate the page back into English again. And it gets a bit messy. Let's just go in. International student. You can just copy paste that across from your translation tool. And now you see those hashtags are written here in English. And on the right hand side, you can see how many views each of the hashtags get. So you want to pick ones that are not like super competitive. So this one here with like 1 million views, realistically your post is not going to show up much compared to the millions of other posts. The one underneath it, oh, that's some specific award. You might be able to find other ones as we scroll down that relate, that have sort of smaller numbers of views, but not ridiculous numbers of views. Like here we've got international student life, international school students, international college student. These ones actually are very quite niche. They've only got a few hundred views and various options there. So you just click on the ones that you want. I'm going to put this back into Chinese because it's confusing me having it in English like this. You can pick your hashtags from the list and you just click on it to confirm which hashtag you want. By the way, if you're struggling, sometimes when it puts it into English, it's hard to click on some of the things. If you're struggling with that, you can literally just use your phone app and use Google Translate on your phone to like the photo translate option and translate the ones as you go using that as well. There's different ways of doing things. I normally do this on, oh, why is it on that? Okay. Students. We also want like exam tips. So exam 考试, something about exams, let's have a look. Options that are coming up. Teaching, oh, that's not really relevant. Things about exams. Well, that's might be popular because it's exam season right now. You can pick a whole bunch of hashtags from their lists here. Exam tips. And I personally would recommend doing like 5 to 10 hashtags and try and kind of niche down a bit as you go. So for example, although it's Gaokao season right now, I'm not really targeting Gaokao students because those ones are planning to study within mainland China. So I'm more interested in students who are doing the A-level exams, which actually already started, but a bit late with this post topic, but whatever. So I'm interested in students who are doing their A-level exams. So I'm not going to do a hashtag Gaokao exam stress or something because that's not going to reach my target audience. Here we've got study abroad in UK. That's definitely very relevant. Other ones to recommend. You see that I haven't even typed anything yet and it's starting to pop up with recommendations. Again, if you don't know what the recommendations mean, you can just put it back into English and it will do it. Like you can translate everything from Chinese into English using your browser's translation tool. I sort of have to hop back and forth a bit, which is a bit of a pain. That's a bit easier than on the phone, I find. On the phone, it's very difficult to do any kind of translation. Oh, now I got confused because I was translating. Study abroad. I'm not interested in like study abroad America, study abroad life, study abroad things. Maybe something like study abroad, like high school study abroad. See, that comes up with much. Here we go, high school study abroad. That one could be relevant. So I picked out a few hashtags there. What I recommend doing is before you even start posting, you can just like search on the app yourself and search for interesting hashtags. You can actually click save on hashtags when you click on them. There's a little save button when you're browsing on the XiaoHongShu app, and that means you can easily then tag them in your posts if you've already pre-saved them. Okay, now you're saying on Android phones you can also translate text with your camera via the Lens app. Yeah, I believe you can also do that on iPhones. It's Google Translate. It's Google Lens. It's within the Google Translate app. I don't have an iPhone, so maybe someone on the iPhone can confirm. But yeah, that's what I mean by you can like use your phone to scan and translate things if you want to. Also, if you've got an Android phone, you can, even within the XiaoHongShu app, if you type everything in English, type everything in English first, then you just long press on it to highlight the text. And then on one of the options that pops up is translate, and you can translate it directly without even leaving the app. It's using the Google Translate app, but within like a little pop-up window rather than having to switch across separately. If you're on an iPhone, though, unfortunately, you just have to jump between the XiaoHongShu app and then your translation app and back and forth. Nikki's saying, what's the Google Photo Translate option? I think that's what Nigel was talking about. You can use the Google Lens or just Google Translate on your phone. If you mean the one I'm using on the computer right now, it's just Google Chrome has got an extension called Google Translate. It should be automatically installed, I think, normally, but if not, you can enable it in the Google Chrome extensions options. Okay. Melody's saying, oh wow, it's the opposite, choosing the most viewed tags. It's a balance, right? But I would say if the tag's getting millions of views, it also has millions, like there's more competition. So you want tags that are vaguely popular. If it's only got 10 views, you're not going to reach many people. So it's a bit of a waste of like time tagging one that's only got 10 views. But I would say anywhere between sort of a few hundred, if it's quite a niche tag, up to like maybe 100,000 views. That would be the range that I would go for. But yeah, it's a difficult one. I'd also recommend just avoiding the very competitive and sort of generic hashtags like English teacher, because that's not very niche, it's not very specific. So you could tag like phonics teacher or like English phonics teacher rather than just phonics in general, because there's also Chinese phonics, so you don't want to get mixed up with that. But like English phonics teacher, you could tag something like that, but not just generic English teacher. Which is one of the reasons people always ask me, Katie, do you have a list of hashtags? It's one that I've seen it a few times in the Facebook group. People are asking for lists of hashtags. I'm like, it depends on your niche. It depends on the specific post. Like this particular post was exam tips. So the hashtags I picked were related to study abroad and exam advice, exam tips, specific exams, that kind of thing. Whereas if I make a post that's about like labeling a volcano with the words about the volcano, then I'm not going to tag exam tips. So you pick hashtags based on the post. Been saying, sorry I'm late, I had class. No worries, no worries. We're working through how to make a post, Lynn, and we've been doing it on the screen here. And don't worry, you can watch the replay to catch up because you've missed quite a lot of content. But no worries. If you've got the workbook as well, it guides you through it all step by step. But yeah, I hope you find this helpful. Okay, great. I feel like we've answered most of the questions. So I've shown you that's how you use the hashtags. I've never bothered tagging a specific person. Here it says at, and then Yonghu means like user. I've never really done that because I'm not sure who I would tag. I think if maybe you got like you're featuring a student, and maybe you got a success story of a particular student, or it's like a featured student of the week celebrating something they've done, then you might want to tag that particular student. Ask their permission first before you do that. And then I'm not even sure what happens when you click on expression. Oh, we can pick emojis. I find these ones very odd. Let's not bother with an emoji. What's that? Okay, so we've got the main bit of the post here. I'm not going to bother playing around more with the hashtags. I might add some more later if I feel like it, but hashtags bore me a bit. I'm going to be honest with you. Hashtags don't make a huge difference. People stress a lot about hashtags, but when we learn about the algorithm tomorrow, it's a very minor factor affecting things in the algorithm. So don't worry too much if that's something that you're feeling very nervous about, the hashtag side of things. Just make the post content in English, quickly Google translate it, or use DeepL, it's better. But translate it into Chinese using some automated app and then post. Don't worry about hashtags if it's something that stresses you out a bit. So now we're going to look on the right-hand side. It shows us a preview here of what my post now looks like. So firstly, when someone's browsing, you can see it's got my study tip graphic and then the title. And then if we change that to look at the individual view, once they've clicked on the post, now we can see there is lots of beautiful detail and information there, and it's broken up a little bit into separate lines. The emojis come through. It looks quite nice. So I'm quite happy with this post. Great. Okay, so let's scroll down. What other things can we do now? Let's just put this back into English for you guys. Back into English. Okay. You can also tag on pictures, actually. I didn't talk about that. There's a little button here. Right there. It says like add a tag on the image itself. You can tag people, like if a person's face is in the image, you can tag them directly on the image if you want to. I find it a bit distracting because it pops up as a tag and covers a bit of the image, but it's something you can do. Right, now we're going to look at the publish settings. One of the things people always ask me, can I pre-schedule posts, or can I schedule posts in advance and have them automatically posting? This is where you do it. on the computer app. You can't do it yet, at least on Android. I don't know about iPhones because I don't have an iPhone, but on Android, you can't do it within the phone app yet. Maybe it will come in the future. This only got released on the computer relatively recently, so maybe they'll roll it out on phones later. I don't know. But here is where we can like set when we're going to schedule it and things like that. So first, if we look at the publish settings, it allows you to pick a location. I have mixed opinions on the locations thing. It supposedly means that you show up to like people near you. In reality, I would say the people near you thing is still picking up on your IP address, like your actual location, rather than the location you're putting in here. I'm not sure this location here is actually doing a lot, but it does show up on the post. So if you've got like the post is quite clearly in a particular location, like maybe I'm doing a featured university because it's advice on studying abroad in the UK. These are the top 3 universities for this subject or something. I might tag one of the universities as a location there. That could be relevant because people might be searching for it. For this post, I'm going to leave that blank because I don't think it's that relevant for this post. And yeah. Then you've got permissions. Always make sure it's set to public because you want people to see it. Don't click private. There's no point making it private because then no one can see it. And then you've got the release time. This is where you can pre-schedule it. So I know it's a bit small on the screen share here, but there's a button there that says it translates as release immediately or scheduled release. This in Chinese makes more sense, but it means schedule it or post now, like post now or schedule a time. So we want to schedule a time maybe, and then you can pick there the date. Scroll down. We'll put it in English for you. Oh, it's because I've made my computer screen quite small to fit this all on the live stream. But you can pick here the day and the time, or you can type it in the box when you want it to post. Actually, for this post right now, I want to post it right now because I want to see it. But you can schedule the time there, which is really convenient. Then if we click on more options, the only option here is content collaboration. So because I've got like an upgraded account on XiaoHongShu, I've got over, I think the limit was 1,000 followers. Once you've got more than 1,000 followers, you get access to what they call pro tools, including the ability to register for like their various monetization programs and things. Because I'm registered on their monetization program, I can tag a like partner. So for example, it's a sponsored post, you tag the post sponsor here. That's irrelevant for this post, so I'm going to close that, leave it blank. But if that pops up for you, that's why it's there. Don't worry about it. And that's it. So now we have our post. Now, before we post it, we're going to make sure that we have turned off the automatic Google Translate of the whole page. We want to make sure that our post itself is appearing on our screen right now in Chinese. We don't want this showing in English right now, because otherwise when you post it, it will post it in English, even though we put all that effort into translating it into Chinese. So make sure you've turned off your browser's automatic translate feature before you click post. So yeah, this is what happens when the translation was turned on. Our post is in English. That means when you click post, it will still post it in English, despite the fact that this is the English we translate into Chinese and then it's translated back using the dodgy Google Translate into English again. We don't want that. So turn off the translation tool, make sure it is in Chinese before you proceed. So I'm repeating that about 10 times, but this is the biggest mistake people make. And they're like, why is my post still in English? Why is it not translated? And it's like, oh, you put all that effort in, but the last hurdle, it didn't do it because you had the translation tool on your end. I've got a few quick questions here. Harry's saying, how can you incorporate this type of post at the end of a video hook? What type of post? Hang on. Did I miss something earlier in the chat? I'm not quite sure what the question is, Harry. Do you want to clarify a bit more? So do you mean in the video itself? If you're making a video, make sure at the end of the video you can say like a call to action, like follow me for more videos like this. So you can add these things into your video itself. I'd always recommend plan your video beforehand, and you can use the same structures we did for our description here, like a hook, some key learning content, and then end with a call to action. You can do that for your script for your video as well. Like plan your video in advance and have that vague structure in it. Can really help. Is that what you mean? On a video post. Yeah, you can write the description for a video post. It doesn't matter if you uploaded an image or a video at the top there, you still have the same settings in terms of the just post description. It's the same. Nigel's saying the schedule releases for batch release posts. Yes. So the idea is you schedule that post in advance. So maybe I don't want to post today because today, well, right now it's Thursday here in Japan. I don't know where it is everywhere else in the world, but right now it's Thursday, and maybe my plan is this post is meant to go on a Saturday. I don't know. So I could put the time and the date in for Saturday. And then while I'm at it, I can make another 10 posts for the next 10 Saturdays and do those right now. So it's all scheduled up front. And that's where our posting schedule from yesterday helps, because you've got that plan. So you can literally spend like an afternoon just batch making a whole bunch of these posts and scheduling them at different times, like each week. And it will just do it all on autopilot. That's the goal. So yes. Julian's saying, please confirm turn off translation tool is the Chrome translation. Yes, I mean the tool you're using, like in Google Chrome or your web browser, that's just translating the whole web page into English to make it easy for you to navigate. Turn that off before you click the final confirm button, because otherwise it will also translate your nice, beautifully written in Chinese text into English and then send it through in English, which is not what we want. So yes, you're correct. Turn off the translation is the Chrome translation tool. Nigel's also saying, I'm not a fan of XiaoHongShu on laptop. Are there any post pitfalls to watch out for if I try this via mobile? That's fine. Like, I also find it a bit clunky on the laptop. It's more, the reason I showed it here because it makes it easier for the translation side, and also just because today I'm screen sharing on a live stream and I can't screen share my phone, whereas I can screen share my computer, so it's just easier to do it together here. Yes, you can do it on your phone, no problem. I actually find it easier and smoother on the phone. There aren't really any common pitfalls because you're not doing the translation in the same way, because you're just copying and pasting it across from an app and back. So not really any particular pitfalls. But if you come across anything you're struggling with, just message in the Facebook group and we can help you out. Nikki's saying, I found posting via mobile a pain. It takes me forever. Talking between XiaoHongShu and the translation tool. Yeah, it can be a pain. What you could do separately, you could plan out your post in like the Notes app or something and translate it separately. And then you just have to click paste once to put it into XiaoHongShu. But it does take a lot of effort going back and forth. I agree. I'm sorry. There's not a solution to it. That's just how it is. Okay, so we made our post, made sure it's definitely in Chinese, and we turned off the Chrome translation tool. We've got all the content. We do a last quick review. We're all happy with it. At the bottom here, you see a big red button that says Fabu, which means like send the post, post the post. The one on the right says cancel. This is the other way around to how we tend to have it on most English-speaking websites. Normally on English-speaking websites, the one on the right is the confirm button. On Chinese websites, it's some kind of cultural thing. It's the one on the left normally. But basically, it's the big pink button is the confirm post button. So yeah. So we're going to click on post. Oh, actually, we've got a quick question here from Stephanie. If you put scheduled time, is it time your time or Beijing time? That is a great question. Let's have a look. So the scheduled time, that's the wrong thing. Scheduled time. This is current time in Beijing time. It's doing it in Beijing time. And you see on the right here, it's actually got time zone written. GMT +8. Oh, my face is covering it. Just to the right, in very small text, you can't really see. I've just tried to highlight it. It says there GMT +8 Beijing time. So it's doing it in Beijing time. Great question. Thank you for that. That was a very useful question. So yeah, it's in Beijing time. Okay, so we're all happy with our post. Let's actually make the post. This is where my computer crashes or something. It'll be a disaster after all that effort. Okay, great. It says post has succeeded. It's going to redirect you back to the page in like a few seconds, and it directs you back. You can close this rating thing. It's just asking you how wonderful you think XiaoHongShu is. We're not interested in that. And it takes you back to where you can now upload the next post, or to batch create and pre-schedule posts. So it just takes you straight back to where you can post the next post if you want to keep going. If you don't want to keep going, on the left here, we just click back to go to the home page. And it's not showing up yet because it's only literally just posted, but it will appear somewhere there on this page in time. I think it might be seen in post management. It might still be pending. No, it's not still pending. Oh, here it is. There we go. So we can see our post has now been posted. And you can change the settings to edit stuff on here as well. So if you go to, it's called post management in English. If you put the translation back on. Oh, sorry, note management. They call them notes rather than posts. If we want to, in this bit here, we can change the settings and tweak the post and look at the statistics and all that kind of thing. Like if I want to make it private, there's a button there. You can delete it. You can set top. Once you've unset the other one, unpin the other one to top, you can pin this to the top instead. Various things like that. Okay. Click on it. I think it might take us to the post. Yes, it does. Let's show you this here. You actually click on the post, it then takes you to see the post within the computer version of the app, and you can see here is our beautiful post. All looks nice. While we're at it, let's click like. Oh wait, no, it doesn't log you in again. Never mind. Okay, so we see that there. Okay, and that's how you make a post. Hopefully that was helpful for everyone. I know I kind of whizzed through some things a bit quickly, and other bits I rambled a lot. So it hopefully just gives you an idea of my kind of thought process when I put together posts and how I like to plan things out and design them and structure posts in a way that's going to get decent engagement. Now tomorrow we're going to do a lot more detail in terms of the algorithm and optimizing some of those things we talked about today in terms of the algorithm to reach even more people. But that hopefully gives you an idea of how to get started with posting and how to go with it. Okay, just a quick look in the questions. If you've got any more questions, by the way, pop them in the chat and I'm more than happy to get to those. Otherwise, I want to, what happened to my screen share? It's gone. That's great. My little slides, my sort of summary. Oh, I've got too many things shared. Okay, let's just go back. Slides. Share this tab. Okay, there we go. So that hopefully gives you an idea then of the process that I use. And again, if you want that kind of summary of the main sort of structure of a post, I've got it here on the screen. The title, opening hook, main description with loads of useful, valuable content, end with a call to action, and then stick your hashtags and things at the end. So this just gives you a bit of a structure, and it's all laid out in your workbook for you in a way that you can sort of plan out your posts. So I hope that was helpful. I think that was most of what I wanted to look at today. So before we have a jump into the questions and things, just going to tell you what your plan is today for your task. And I'm sure you've guessed it, your task today is to make a post on XiaoHongShu. I would recommend doing a value post because that's going to reach, generally have better reach and better engagement, I find, value posts. So something valuable and useful using the structure that we learned today. You can use your workbook. There's a sort of picture there of the workbook to help you structure things. And I would recommend using a Canva template just to make a nice quick image or just take a picture yourself and then post a screenshot in the Facebook group of your completed post. Personally, if this is your first post, I would just go for an image post rather than worrying about making and editing videos. But if you do want to make a video post, in the online course platform, I added some bonus lessons with like videos that work you through how to edit videos on XiaoHongShu and things like that. Excuse me, and how to add subtitles in Chinese and stuff. So if you want to do a video post, there's more detail on that in the online course platform. It's free. The link is below for that extra information. But if this is your first post or you just want to get something done relatively quickly for today, just go with an image post. That's what I recommend. Okay. Before we jump into the questions, I'm seeing a few questions in the comments, which is great. Feel free to keep adding questions in the comments. I'm going to get to those in just a moment. I just want to take this very quick opportunity to promote a little bit of self-promotion because we're all about marketing here. If you'd like to learn more about some of the stuff we've learned in the bootcamp so far, and you want to take your marketing a step further, do feel free to check out the self-paced social media marketing courses on the ABridge Academy website. These go into so much more detail like beyond what's in the bootcamp. I know that's surprising because there's so much already in the bootcamp. But if you want to learn some more advanced tips for marketing on Chinese social media, then do check out these courses. They're on the ABridge Academy. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's abridgeacademy.com/courses. Or if you just Google ABridge Academy, we should come up, and then you can just click on the courses tab to find those. And basically, one of the main ones that most people are interested in is the XiaoHongShu course, which is massive. It's got all the information that's in the bootcamp plus loads more, including tutorial videos, going into detail on things like Repost, analytics, stuff like that to really boost your XiaoHongShu marketing to the next level. And I know people have been asking me about what happens after XiaoHongShu. So we looked at our marketing funnel, and XiaoHongShu was like the first part to kind of attract all the leads and draw them in. But then we've got to get them onto WeChat, and then within WeChat, convert them into actual paying customers. So if that interests you and you want to learn more about that, check out the WeChat marketing course. It's also on the website. So just a quick sales message from me if you're interested in learning a bit more. We get some really wonderful feedback and reviews from teachers on these courses. So I do hope you find them helpful. I put a lot of work into them. So I feel like there's a lot of useful content there. And I know some of you yesterday, when you tuned into the live stream, I also mentioned about the new XiaoHongShu coaching program. So if you want to really accelerate your marketing, have me as your kind of personal cheerleader, your mentor, your support, guiding you through everything that we covered in the bootcamp and beyond, to make you have the most success on XiaoHongShu with implementing everything. Sign up for the XiaoHongShu coaching program. You'll get 5 one-on-one coaching sessions with me, and these are customized around your needs. And you also get these 3 amazing bonuses. Firstly, it's the XiaoHongShu marketing course that I just mentioned earlier. And secondly, you get 3 custom-made Canva post templates designed around your brand, for your niche, and for the posts that you make, which means that it saves you so much time when creating your content. And finally, you get a profile review and translation from a native Chinese speaker who will give you lots of feedback and make sure everything is perfectly optimized and set up for success. So if you're interested in XiaoHongShu coaching program, I'm just going to put the link in chat. Do feel free to check that out. The doors will be closing on Sunday, so I'm trying to get the first cohort, like first few people to sign up for the XiaoHongShu coaching program this week. That's what we're launching as part of this bootcamp. So it's the first time I've done this. We've done a fair bit of coaching individually with teachers, but this is the first time I'm running it as a XiaoHongShu specific coaching program that links in with the course. You get the course included as a bonus for free, and it's very customized around your needs in this way, focusing on XiaoHongShu. So I'm very excited to launch this for you guys. Okay, as promised though, let's move on to the questions. So if anyone's got any questions, I hope you'll be popping those in the chat as we go. I'm going to make my face a bit bigger so we can actually see me rather than me tiny in the corner. Sorry you've got my slightly allergy swollen up face because it's hay fever season, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the questions in the chat because I saw a few popping up. Okay, Nigel's saying, I wrote my profile on DeepL and translated Chinese and added to XiaoHongShu. Yeah, DeepL does a pretty good job at translating most things. So I would use that if you want to do a kind of quick, easy translation for your posts, for your profile content, all that kind of thing. So yeah, DeepL is the one I'd recommend. Like you're saying, I found this easier. The Chinese language is shorter, as mentioned, it's easier to negotiate the word count limit. Yeah, you notice things like particularly the post title had a limit of 30 characters. In English, 30 characters isn't a huge amount, whereas in Chinese, you can write like a whole sentence or more with 30 characters. It's quite a lot of space. So Chinese is a much more condensed language than English is. Most words in Chinese are like 2 characters long. Often they're just 1 character long, 1 or 2 characters, sometimes 3, but not as long as English words. I hope Santa brings me a why you can't work Canva properly book. Oh no. I find Canva relatively intuitive, but sometimes it has some weird peculiarities. And there's a few tiny things that irritate me about it, like not being able to crop and resize images properly. Like you can't stretch an image. It tries to crop it instead of stretching. Small things like that irritate me, but we deal with it. Yeah, there's loads of information, by the way. If you look on YouTube, like we're currently on YouTube, but if you look elsewhere on YouTube, beyond my channel, there's many people doing some great tutorial videos and things on how to use Canva. So do have a look. They probably got their own YouTube anyway, Canva does, with like tutorials and guidance and things. But yeah, I mostly find I used to use Canva just on my phone because my phone is a lot quicker than my computer. My computer's a bit old, and you might be able to tell from the quality of the live stream sometimes. My computer struggles a bit. So I used to just use it on my phone, and it was a little bit fiddly doing things on the phone screen. I now use it on the computer. I deal with the fact my computer's a bit slow because it is easier to use Canva on my computer. The great thing about that, though, is that you can edit it like the Canva post and make it all on your computer, but then have the Canva app on your phone to really easily download the image, then upload it to XiaoHongShu within your phone if you're using the XiaoHongShu phone app. So Canva's great, just takes a bit of practice. Nikki's saying, so useful. I know already I want to review this video later. I'm glad this was helpful for you. And yeah, that's the whole point of having the replays available, because I go through things relatively quickly because I'm quite confident with knowing where things are, having done it a lot. But obviously, if it's new to you, you want to go back and review and find all the different settings and remember the quick tips and things that came up. Okay. And I'm just saying, I'm not here tomorrow, no worries. And good luck to everyone for today's task. Katie, I've enjoyed the bootcamp. I'll complete my task on Monday. I'm so glad to hear you've enjoyed the bootcamp. Thank you for joining us, Nigel. I know you've had some really great engagement with working on the task and in the chat here throughout the bootcamp. So really appreciate your support with that. And I hope you enjoy the last session when you catch up on Monday, and have a great weekend. So thank you, Nigel. Awesome. Okay, Nikki's asking here, is there any benefit for English learners on XiaoHongShu to read our post in Chinese first, but also show the English translation underneath? That's what I've been doing to date. So as you saw when I did it, I just posted myself in Chinese just because I've just always posted it in Chinese. It just didn't occur to me initially to do that. However, that is a very good point. I would say that if your customer and your student are the same, that means the people reading your post are also the people that you teach. Then that would make a lot of sense because you want them to like learn something from the post, and therefore having it in English and Chinese is useful. So for example, you're teaching business English to adults. They might want to read things in English first and sort of try and practice it in English before they look at the Chinese translation. Depending on what the post topic is, it might be relevant for depending on what you're posting. However, if you're teaching like really young kids, so your customer, which is the people who are going to be looking at your posts, are the parents of the kids, and they don't want to learn English themselves. They're not interested in learning English themselves. They just want their kid to learn English, but their kid isn't the one reading the XiaoHongShu post. In that case, I would just put your post in Chinese because the parent doesn't want to read it in English anyway because they're not interested in the English. I'll talk more about this in the algorithm thing tomorrow, but basically if you write stuff in English, the algorithm will pick up those English keywords and start recommending your post to other English speakers or people who are searching for stuff in English. So it can affect your ability to reach your target audience to some extent. So yeah, just as long as you've definitely got Chinese, that's the most important thing. Whether or not you want to put the English translation is up to you. Melly's saying the Control Z hotkey, very helpful in Canva. Absolutely. I don't know what it is, but stuff doesn't line up properly and I click on the wrong thing and delete it by accident all the time. But yes, Control Z, very helpful. Okay. Laura's saying, do you suggest we have a color theme for our post? There's some cohesion on the profile. Definitely great advice. Thank you, Laura. That's a really good one to mention. So as I was saying, I use Canva to format my posts and use their pre-made templates. Within Canva, you can set your like brand colors. And then it will you can easily use those colors across all of your posts and different post templates and stuff. You can then get it customized around your brand colors. So then you've got the consistent brand identity. I definitely recommend that. For me personally, my kind of brand colors I'm using is a kind of slightly mustardy yellow and like a sort of slightly pinkish red I quite like, and a green. I picked a few nice bright colors. I love bright colors, so that's what I went with. Yeah, I'd recommend keeping to a consistent color scheme. It just helps with the sort of branding of things. Okay, I think that's most of the comments. I might have missed some things earlier. So if I missed your question earlier and you're still in the chat and want me to answer, just pop your question in the chat again, or any further questions, let me know. I'm happy to help with anything. I'm just scrolling quickly through all of the different messages. I think we've covered most of this, which is great. Okay. If there's not any more questions then, thank you so much everyone for joining us, and thank you for those of you who stuck around right to the end. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this helpful and really appreciate all of your feedback and your suggestions and your engagement in the comments. It's been fantastic. If you have found it helpful, don't forget to like the video, by the way. It just helps us with the algorithms and stuff, reach more teachers like you, to make sure that everyone who has the opportunity to join the bootcamp, so do feel free to like the video if it's been useful. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've seen a few thank you comments already. Thank you, Melody. I'm glad this was helpful. See you guys tomorrow. Yes, see you tomorrow for the final day of the bootcamp. Tomorrow's topic is about the algorithm. I know I've mentioned it several times to get you excited, but I'm excited for it. Tomorrow we're going to be learning about the algorithm, how to optimize a post, like what we did today, but how to make them even better, to do well in the algorithm and to boost engagement and to reach the right people. And yeah, everything you need to really understand being successful on XiaoHongShu. So do tune into that tomorrow. Same time, same place tomorrow. Nikki saying it's been brilliant. Thank you, Nikki. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad this has been helpful. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up there because it's now 11:30 my time in the evening and I want to go to bed. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So have a great rest of your day or evening. See you. Thanks. Bye.